Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is Islam, politics, and terrorism. And we're fortunate to have with us to talk about Islam, politics, and terrorism, Dr. LMadu. And Dr. LMadu, you've been with us on a number of occasions, and I think that our audience will probably know you as our African expert. But I think that since over the last several months, you've become not only our African expert, but you're also our Middle East expert. And I must say that not only do you give us information, but the quality of the information that we're getting from you in reference not only to Africa, but from the Middle East. And we simply expect the same kind of information this morning as we deal with Islam, politics, and terrorism. Let's start off, Dr. LMadu, by having you to give us an overview in a real sense of what, and tell us exactly what we mean when we talk about Islam, or Muslim, or Muslims, or whatever. Talk about it from that perspective.
Thank you. Thank you, Amor. It's always a pleasure to be here. One can say that, Islam is one of the most misunderstood religions, one of the great religions, but one of the most misunderstood, at least from a Western, perspective. This is a religion that was founded by the Prophet Muhammad, somewhere in Arabia in the 6th AD. It has over 1 billion adherents, in the world today. And since the foundation of this religion in Arabia, it expanded all through the world. You had great empires that arose, through Muslim conquest, all the way to Europe, Africa, Asia, you name it. Well, what happened was, after the death of Muhammad, there was a problem of succession, who is going to succeed him. Some wanted his direct descendants, his bloodlines, to succeed him. Others said, no, we got to elect somebody who is capable, to lead the Islamic religion. That's how you came about, the split we have today. Most people don't understand that, like the Catholics and the Protestants, the Muslim religion has its own problems of divisions. You have the Sunnis and you have the Shiites. And some of the political problems today, you have in Iraq and in Iran is related to, and in Lebanon, is related to Shiite Sunni problems. The main difference, between the Shiites and the Sunnis is that the Sunnis do not believe in a centralized hierarchy. Just like the Catholic Church has a hierarchy of the Pope, the cardinals, and all this. The Sunnis don't believe in that. The Shiites do. That's why you have in the Shia religion, you have the mullahs, you have the Hojatul Islams, you have the Ayatollahs, then you have the Grand Ayatollahs. But in the Sunni, majority Sunni religion, nothing like that. You have the caliphs and the imams and all this, in their various places. Not one voice of authority. For example, in Iraq today, you have one voice of authority. The Ayatollah Sistani, who is the leader of the Iraqi Shiites. His word is law. He gives, all this. But within the Sunni group in Iraq, you don't have one, person who gives authority, just like the Protestants and all this. So that's very important to understand. The Shiites are called the Twelfers because they believe that the last Imam, the 12th Imam, was the last, and that he went, God took him and he will be back again.
He ascended.
Yeah, exactly. And he will be back later and become what they call the Mahdi, the Messiah. The Sunnis don't believe in that either. Then within the Shiites itself, you have other divisions. Within the Shia religion, you have those they call the Ismailis. The Ismailis do not believe in the 12th Imam. They believe that the last Imam was the 7th. They are called the Seveners. And you find a lot of the Ismailis, in East Africa, India, Pakistan. For their spiritual leader used to be the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, the Aga Khan, Prince Sadruddin Aga Khan. Within the Ismailis, then you have those they call the Ismaili Druze. The Druze are regarded by the mainstream Sunni Muslims as heretics. You find them, in Lebanon, Israel, and in Syria. Again, within the Shiites, you have another group called the Alawites. The Alawites are predominant in Syria. In fact, the president of Syria since 1971 has been an Alawite. And some of the political problems in Syria has been related to that, because majority of Syrians are Sunnis, and they are against an Alawite-dominated regime. You know, in 1982, there was a rebellion by the majority Sunnis in a city called Hama.
And we're going to have to take a short commercial break, and then we'll pick up at exactly this point, and we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.